part 3 when it comes to API integration with workflow custom coded actions. So we have the document here, documentation for HubSpot custom code workflow actions. So let's go directly to the code that we're going to test to see if it's going to work. We're going to use this code here, copy, and then our workflow is a contact-based workflow, and then the trigger, there's a trigger here, set up a trigger. I'm gonna click here, contact, record ID is none, save. Okay, so now let's go to the custom coded action. So for you to get the custom coded action, let me show you how to get custom coded action. Click there, you scroll down, data ops, you click, as we're gonna get your custom coded actions. We have different kind of versions here. Full screen, and then we're gonna copy and paste our code. We don't need this, it's just a comment. And then the most important part here is the API key. So we're gonna have to go get our API key. So to get the API key, you go to settings and then private apps, and then here where you're gonna create your API key. So you might just make sure that your API key is kept secret, so that you can do whatever you want secretly. Okay, so you click create, you give it a name of your whatever thing that you're on. Let's say test API integration. Okay, so now we have scope. Now, HubSpot, as you can see, scopes determine what your app can access and do in a HubSpot. It's strongly encouraged to require as few scopes as possible for your app's functionality. So here we're going to look, so we have CMS, we have CRM, we have some settings, we have standard. So we need just contact. Yeah, read and write. So we have Sadat, and then as you can see, view property and other detail about contact, create, delete, or make changes to contacts. View property added, and then delete about contact, including sensitive data. View details about property setting for contact, create, delete, or make change to property settings for contact. So we can also have deals. So we're going to be using deals in the later stage. So we're going to already have it here. Create only those deals. So okay, and then let's put company. Okay, so we have company object. Okay, so those are the stuff that we're going to need in the meantime. So once you finish, you click create app. Yeah, so once you finish here is where you're gonna have to copy your your token keys. As you can see, test API integration is installed and ready to integrate with HubSpot. Use the token below to start making API calls from your own website service. If you are just getting started, we recommend using an app hosting service like Netlify, Google App Engine, or AWS. And then you can also find access token on the private apps page and the test API integration app of page. Since this is your first app, we recommend taking a quick tour. So we're gonna have to take the quick tour. That's gonna help you to understand nicely about what the other features that you can use. Right. So now, once you finish what you do, you're gonna just have to click show token and then you click copy. So once you click copy, so once you click copy, then after that you go to your here to add your token. Let's say for instance, you just call it HubSpot and then we're gonna paste our token there. So make sure that it must always be secret your token, so that you can paste it there. So once you finish to set up, once you finish to put a token, you might just click save, and then it's gonna appear there. So now we have this is the script that we copy. So here, this is the HubSpot API that we're going to access. So we're going to access the HubSpot API. So there is a lot of endpoints. So here, as you can see, we have secret name. So that's going to be HubSpot. The one that we put there. So we get HubSpot. That is our secret name there. Okay, so you can see how to use secrets. Secrets are a way for you to save API keys or private apps and set them as a variable to use anywhere in your code. Each secret need to be defined like the example below. Okay, so here we have phone, which is a property under contact. So, and then we have email, we have phone, we have email. Okay, and then how to use inputs. So as you can see, we will automatically retry when the code fails because of a rate limiting error from the HubSpot API. So as you can see, we're using try. And then how to use inputs. Inputs are a way for you to take data from any actions in your workflow and use it in your code instead of having to call the HubSpot API to get the same data. So each input needs to be defined like the example below. That. So how we're gonna get this one here? So what you do is you come there, and then we're looking for email. You click email. So here you can even change the name, but we're gonna just keep this one here. You copy this, and then you're gonna paste it here. So this is the way that you connect with this. So instead of using the API, so you can connect this one directly. So it's helping you to limit the to optimize your API calls. Okay, so you have there. So now how to use output. So output are a way for you to take data from your code and use it in later workflow actions. So use the callback function to return data that can be used in later actions. Data won't be returned until after the event loop is empty. So any code after that will still execute. So as you can see, we have email, we have phone. So now the difference between those two here, as you can see, is the phone. We're using API to get the phone value, and this one we're not using API. It's coming directly from the CRM there. So absolutely make it great to have the shortcut there. So okay. So now we're gonna have to test this one to see if you're going to be able to pull this data. Okay. Right, let's see here for us to do the test. So once you okay, so once we have this one here, so the test what you do, the test is just you select, you're gonna click here, it's gonna give you the list of the contact, then you select your contact, and then you click test. Once you click test, it's gonna the script is gonna load, and then once you load, then you're gonna get a response like the success. And then once you get a response success, you're going to have this information like this. I just mask it here. Yeah, mask those information there. Yeah, so you're gonna get the email address of the person, the telephone number, and then you can see the telling you memory and then runtime. Yeah, so as you can see, is out of 128 megabytes. Must always make sure that capacity there and checking the second of runtime of your API. So yeah, so this is the things as you can see. So we have way to access the HubSpot and API. Yeah, way to access the HubSpot API, and then you must always wrap your code here export.main at sync, and then we have the events, and then we have the callback. Yeah. So as you can see, if a property in this one here, if a property does not exist, if the property does not have a value, it's not gonna appear in the response. In the response here. So if the letter from definition does not have a value, you're not gonna see them in the response here. So yeah. So there's the callback. So the callback is helping us to output those fields here so that you can use them later in your workflow. So, and then the way that you do it is by adding output fields, email, you copy and then put there, data type, string, and then we have phone. So phone, we'll just put, yeah, we have phone number there, and then we put phone. Yeah, so that is gonna help you to get those information and then to populate it in the your next action. So that's the way, the beauty of it here, of having this one here, because of you are transferring data from this workflow to the other. Okay, so let me save. So let's say, for instance, we go to another action, and then you want to use those property. Let's say, for instance, you just want to send it to a, let's say, communication, send email, choose an email template. So you have to choose the email. Okay, so the contacts, wanted contact, use an email. Let's cancel this one here. The notification. Yeah, so this we just wanted to do the test. You click here. So we're going to need, as you can see, CRM trigger, we have action output here, and then we have our information that we have from this custom code one. So you click, so it's gonna give you those information. You can also have it there. So this is the way that you pass those data that you collect. So you can use this for sending the email. You can use it also for your next other workflow custom actions. Let's say, for instance, we have another workflow custom action that you want to add those information there. So you do the same thing to pass those information to the next custom code action. So that's one also we're gonna talk about it. So okay, so this is the basic one. Okay, if you like this video, click a thumbs up. So we're gonna move to the next video so that we can talk more about API integration of custom code actions with more examples. Thank you so much.